So we're going to talk about past tense. We've already looked at how to conjugate the present tense, but we're going to briefly touch on that as well, just to refresh you. But basically, past tense is how you talk about situations that happened in the past. And in Korean, how you do this is you conjugate a certain ending to the ending of the verb. So how do you do this? Well, there are a couple of rules. The first rule is that if the verb ends in a or, you attach 었어요 to the verb. So let's look at some examples. Hada means to go. So this verb ends on a, so we know we have to add 었어요. But because this verb ends on a vowel sound, this a sound, there's no consonant, there's no 받침. So it means you tuck the double shiot underneath, so it becomes 갔다. This sang shiot goes at the bottom, 갔다. And then if you want to talk about this with informal polite language level, so casual polite formality, you add 어아요. So this becomes 갔어요. 갔어요. That is the present or the past tense conjugation of the verb 가다, meaning I went somewhere. 갔어요 means I went somewhere. And interesting thing about Korean is you don't necessarily need a subject. 갔어요 is a complete sentence in Korean. You can say 갔어요 to say that you went somewhere, or anybody went somewhere. I went somewhere, he went somewhere, she went somewhere. It all can just be 갔어요. So let's look at another example. Let's look at 오다. So 오다 also ends in 어, so it follows this first rule as well. And 오다 is the verb meaning to come. So it's the opposite of 가다. To 오다 something is something to come to your location. So 오다 ends on an O sound. So we know we need to add 었어요. Oh, it's my dog wanting to come inside. 1 second. Hello. Yeah, you can go inside. Okay. Here we are. So we have 오다, and we're trying to conjugate that into the past tense. So the first thing you want to do is you're adding 었어요. But when you add this a sound, it combines with this o to make a new vowel sound. It's a vowel combination that becomes wa. So it becomes wa here, o and a. I can zoom in a little bit for you so you can see this a little bit better. So it becomes wa. And now we can add our sang shiot at the bottom. Oh my gosh, my dog now wants to leave the room, of course. Once again. All right. So we have what, and now this we add on the 어요, and it becomes 왔어요. 왔어요 means I came, or somebody came to my location. So Tommy 왔어요. Tom came to somewhere. 집에 Tommy 왔어요. Tom came to my house, for example. 왔어요 is the past tense conjugation of 오다. Let's do one more example. Let's do 좋다. 좋다 is the verb meaning to be good or nice. And this verb also ends on or, this or sound. But it's a little different from 오다 because we have a 받침 this time. We have a final consonant sound, which means that it's actually a little easier to conjugate into the past tense because you just kind of stick 었어요 at the end. So it becomes 좋았어요. Here it's been combined because we don't have a 받침, we don't have a final consonant. So these sounds have merged together into one. But here, because we have this hiet on the bottom, this final consonant on the bottom, you just stick it on the end. 좋았어요. That's the past tense of the verb 좋다, meaning to be good. So 좋았어요 means it was good. It was nice. I liked it. 수업이 좋았어요. The lesson was good. 음식이 좋았어요. The food was good. That sort of thing. And you can see it here as well. 좋다. Yep, 좋아요. It can be 좋아요. That just means it's the present tense. If you say 좋아요, it means, I like it currently. 좋았어요 means I liked it in the past. Here we have another verb, 살다. Again, 살다 ends on a 받침, this little 받침. So you just stick it on the end as well. 살았어요. 보다, this is a similar thing to this 오다 we have here. It looks very similar. Becomes 봤어요. 봤어요. I watched it. Okay. Slightly different rule. If the verb ends in 하, you attach 했어요. The nice thing about Hada verbs, and there are a lot of Hada verbs in Korean, verbs that end in this ha. The great thing about Hada verbs is they all conjugate the same way. They all become 했어요 in the past tense. So 공부하다 becomes 공부했어요. That means I studied. I studied in the past. 한국어를 공부했어요. I studied Korean. 어제 한국어를 공부했어요. I studied Korean yesterday. 일하다 means to work. So 일했어요 means I worked. 어제 일했어요. I worked yesterday. 월요일에 일했어요. I worked on Monday. 요리하다 is to cook. And 요리했어요 is the past tense combination. What is the word? Conjugation of 요리하다. 요리했어요. So 저녁을 요리했어요. I cooked dinner. 어제 저녁을 요리했어요. I cooked dinner yesterday. And all of these verbs can be in the present tense, in which case it would be 공부해요, 일해요, 요리해요. These are just in the past tense. All right. And then the final rule is that if the verb stem ends in any other sound, you attach 었어요. So here it's if it's a or o, you attach 았어요. If it's 하, you attach 했어요. And if it's anything else in the world, you attach 었어요. So 읽다 means to read. And the past tense conjugation is 읽었어요. 읽었어요. I read. 어제 책을 읽었어요. I read a book yesterday. Let's look at 만들다 here. 만들다. Does anyone know what that verb means? Yeah, pretty much. And when you're conjugating the present tense, you attach a or yo. This is the book Conversational Korean Grammar. And it's actually essentially the same rule. If it ends in a or o, you attach ayo. Ha becomes heyo, and in the past it becomes oyo. That's the same rule as present tense, right? If you know how to conjugate present tense. Past tense, yeah, sorry. If you're touching the past tense, it's the same rule. You just have this sang 시옷 at the bottom. This double 시옷 at the bottom for past tense. Right, so 만들다. Yeah, anyone know what 만들다 means in Korean? What this verb means? 만들다. Anybody have a guess? To make, right. 만들다 is the verb meaning to make. So if you want to conjugate it into the past tense, you have to add either 었어요, 했어요, or 었어요. And because the final vowel sound is this sound, we know we have to attach 었어요. And the other thing to note is that we have a 받침 here. We have a final consonant sound, which means, yeah, 만들었다. 만들었다. This is the dictionary form of the past tense. And then if we want to attach casual polite formality to this, we attach 어요, and it becomes 만들었어요. 만들었어요. This is the book called Conversational Korean Grammar. Hey, good job, Alessandro. Yeah, perfect. 만들었어요. That means I made it. It could be anything. I made 책을 만들었어요. I made a book. 음악을 만들었어요. I made music, etc. 만들다. Let's look at another example here. Let's look at 마시다. What does 마시다 mean in Korean? What does this verb mean? Yeah, good job, Tatiana. Perfect. Yep, this verb means to drink. So 마시다 means to drink, and the last vowel sound is this E sound. So because it's the E sound, it's not A, or ha, we have to add 었어요. So this is a little bit trickier than the last one because we don't have a 받침, and we're going to have a new vowel combination happening. So when we add 었어요, does anyone know what this becomes? Actually, anyone know what it becomes in the present tense? If you're saying almost said it there. 마시다 in the present tense is 마셨어요. Perfect, good job. So in the present tense, it's 마셔요. When this all combines with the E, it becomes 요, 마셔요. And in the past tense, yeah, perfect. His file has got it. 마셨어요. 마셨어요 is the past tense conjugation of the verb 마시다, to drink. So 마셨어요 means I drank. 물을 마셨어요. I drank water. 맥주를 마셨어요. I drank beer. Whatever it is. I don't have a specific schedule. Kind of whenever I have time, basically. It'd be nice to have a specific schedule. I don't really have one yet, though. Yeah, so that's how you conjugate in the past tense. We also have 먹다 here. This one is, it got a 받침 at the bottom, so it's a little easier again. It just becomes 먹었어요. 먹었어요 is I ate something. Okay, so let's look at some more practice exercises. How would you say, I studied yesterday? So we want to use, there's two words we need. Yep, we're doing a beginner's class. This, I think, counts as beginner level. So you are in a beginner class right now, I believe. So if you want to say, I studied yesterday, we can put 저는. This isn't necessarily required, but let's just say we're going to talk about myself. 저는 어제. I see a couple people writing 어제. It's correct. That means yesterday. So I yesterday studied. So the verb, anyone know the verb to study in Korean? In its dictionary form? Yes, 공부 is the noun. 공부 is study. 공부하다 is the verb to study. So 공부하다 is the dictionary form. And because it ends on 하, anxious stem has it. 어제 공부했어요. Good job. 공부. Because it's a Hada verb, it becomes 했어요. And all Hada verbs become this. I'm not Korean, but I've been studying for a while. So 저는 어제 공부했어요. I studied yesterday. How about we add a object? What are we studying? So how do we say I studied Korean yesterday? You can use 나는. That just means it's more casual. It's not this formal language. So let's say, if I want to say I studied Korean yesterday, we can start with the same. 저는 어제, that's yesterday. So I yesterday, Korean. Anyone know how to write Korean in Korean? the noun for Korean in Korean. I'm sure somebody knows what that is. 한국어. Correct. Good job, guys. 한국어. 한국어. That's how you write Korean in Korean. And then what's the particle that we need? I see someone's written it already. Which particle do we need here to make it the object of the sentence? We need 를. 한국어를. Perfect, yeah. Berkusis has it. Perps, thank you very much. Good job, everybody. 한국어를. We cannot use 한국어가. We can't use 한국어가. Make sure you use the object particle because you want to say it's the object that you are studying. 한국어를 공부했어요. So, I, yesterday, Korean, studied. I studied Korean yesterday. 저는 어제 한국어를 공부했어요. Oh, awesome. Perfect. Good job. Good job, Tatiana. All right. This is Korean, actually. It's a Korean class. So, how do you do it with nouns? So, it's a very similar process if you want to attach the past tense to a noun. This is the book Conversational Korean Grammar. If you want to attach it to a noun, there are 2 rules you need to know. Is 했어요 past tense? 했어요 is something a little different. It's present tense and it's a combination of a different grammar form. I'm not going to talk about that right now. Let's get back to these nouns. So, there's 2 things you need to know. If the noun ends on a consonant sound, you have to attach 었어요. So this E comes after the noun and then 었어요. If it's a noun that ends on a consonant sound. So for example, 한국 사람. 한국 사람 is a Korean person. So how do you say it was a Korean person? Nope, you're correct. This is Conversational Korean Grammar. So 한국 사람 ends on a consonant sound. So if we want to conjugate this into the past tense, 한국 사람이 었어요. He was a Korean person. 한국 사람이었어요. It was a Korean person. 남편 is husband. So 남편이었어요. It was my husband or he was my husband. 빵이었어요. It was bread. 한국 사람이었어요. Yeah, perfect. Great job, Blondie. 한국 사람이었어요. That was a Korean person. Now, if the noun ends on a vowel sound, you attach 였어요. 였어요. So, 친구. Anyone know how to conjugate? So, let me show you up here. So, if it ends on a vowel sound, you attach 였어요. This thing right here. So, if I have the noun 친구, 친구 means friend. So, how do I conjugate 친구 into the past tense? 친구. You stick this on the end, so it becomes 친구였어요. Yeah, perfect. 친구였어요. He was my friend, or she was my friend, or they were my friend. 친구였어요. How about 커피? 커피 is coffee in Korean. So to make this into the past tense, what would that be in Korean? Coffee. To make copy into the past tense, 커피였습니다. Oh yeah, nice. We've got a different formality here, but that's also correct. 커피였습니다 or 커피였어요. It was coffee. That was coffee. Good job, rainbow hands. That's perfect as well. 커피였어요. It was coffee. Now, an important little note is that when you're using the past tense in Korean, it's a little bit different from English in that there's no information about the present situation when you use the past tense like this. So if you say or like that 그 사람은 제 친구였어요. That person was my friend. In English, when you say that person was my friend, it kind of suggests that they're not my friend anymore. But that's not the case in Korean. If you say 제 친구였어요, that person was my friend, it just means that at some point in the past, they were your friend. But you might still be friends now, or you might not be. There's no information about this when you use a sentence like that. So if you want to specify that the person used to be your friend, 그 사람은 제 친구였어요 just means at some point in the past we were friends. If you want to specify that they're not your friend anymore, you can use the discontinuous past tense. So this is like when you add a double ot to your verb conjugation, you make the discontinuous past tense, which specifies that this action or this thing does not continue to the present. So it's kind of like saying something you used to do in English or someone used to be something in English. So 그 남자는 제 친구였었어요 means that person used to be, that man used to be my friend. He used to be my friend, but he is not anymore. 책을 많이 읽었었어요 means I used to read a lot of books. If you say 책을 많이 읽었어요, it just means I read a lot of books. But if you say 책을 많이 읽었었어요, it implies that you used to read a lot of books and you don't read a lot of books anymore. Just a little note that you can use.